let's get into Chloe Swarbrick this morning with Brooke Van Velden talking on breakfast. The first clip we're going to play for you is, as I said, a question around the country being fragile. Is the country, because this is one of the things that the Prime Minister said in his State of the Nation, is the country in a fragile position? And they both agree, but as I said, for kind of different reasons.
Well, ironically, I would probably agree with the Prime Minister with regard to that diagnosis. And I'd say that, therefore, the role of political leaders is to make sure that we have an opportunity for a more unified Aotearoa in New Zealand. You don't get there by continuing to spark the culture wars over addressing the cost of living crisis that you're ostensibly elected upon. That means, obviously, continuing to rile up misunderstanding and, therefore, division over the likes of Te Tiriti o Waitangi, of, putting under the spotlight sex, sexuality and gender education for our young people so that we can reduce bullying in schools and ensure that young people's mental health and well-being is on a better track. But I guess the thing that I really wanted to point to is how Christopher Luxon spent a lot of time reflecting on tough choices. So let's...
As you won't be surprised, but Chloe comes not just with receipts, but with just this through line. For people who don't know, this is what a movie has. The main theme of a movie is called a through line by people who are writing them. This through line and the information she puts out and the analysis. Like, if she was in America and she left politics, she would be an absolute get for any news network to be a pundit forevermore, because she puts this information into it and it makes you think. This is very good. This is very good analysis, very well put together.
Let's just unpack that for a second. This is exactly the same kind of rhetoric that we have heard from political leaders for decades now. The kind of tough choices that Christopher Luxon is talking about are protecting the seventh property of property investors like himself, for example, over deciding to address the 7,000 kids that his legislation, which his government put through under urgency last week, are going to push into poverty. It's tough choices like, for example, prioritising commercial interests over the health of our fresh water. These are the tough choices that Christopher Luxon is deciding to make as our Prime Minister. And frankly, I'm sorry if he's not sleeping well at night, but I'd say that probably reflects the reality that these are not the right choices to be making.
So there you go, Drew. There's shots fired number one by Chloe Swarbrick. And you see what I mean? Like often she comes with receipts when she's talking about international research. Not so much today, but you can go, okay, I see your argument. It's enough meat on it to go, even for people who disagree with her, they now know where and why she stands in that position. And kudos to it. Kudos to it. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. And as I said, I've said this consistently, and I will continue to be consistent on this. Chloe Swarbrick is the best communicator we have in the House, either side. And I think she's absolutely right. It's whenever Luxon has a tough choice, in my opinion, he comes down on the wrong side every single time. I don't see there being any tough choices, because if you're going to go the same way every time, it's not a tough choice. He is going to go for the economy. He is going to go for business. He is not going to go for any of the other things. The people, the environment.
Can I add one thing in there? Let me add one thing in there. He is going to go for the economy that he deems worth going for. There are other parts of the economy that they won't. So it's not just, and this is what I think, not just the economy, it's the sort of neoliberal approved economy, because that's what they say drives everything. So I think I would put an addendum there when you say the economy. I'd say a particular slice of the economy is what it'll always go for, and it'll
business
always
roundtable.
It'll always lean towards the wealthiest and the biggest and the most with the most money and the deepest pockets. That's where it will lean towards.